I'm here with Zippy Broughton, and she is currently in the beautiful city of Hannover, Germany. How's your German so far?
It's pretty awful. I know to say Dankeschön, which is
Okay, that's nice.
very- and bitte. I think that's you're welcome. But that's pretty much it. Hello,
Okay.
hello. Yeah, not much.
And when it comes to basketball vocabulary?
You know what? We just speak English, so I have no concerns with speaking German on the basketball court.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I would like for us to start way back in Alabama.
Okay.
Were you a country girl when you were growing up?
Yeah, so that was I grew up pretty much in the woods. Grew up with a lot of dogs. We've had different farm animals. Grew up growing plants. So yeah, that's something that me and my family we've just done throughout the years in Alabama.
Okay, and were you guys farmers? Was it this commercial farming or was it farming?
No, it was just, hey, let's just go plant something in the yard. We have the acres for it, but I mean, let's just eat what we grow. But it was nothing where I mean, my dad would sometimes sell it. He had some one year. His harvest for his collard greens was pretty huge, and he would sell that. But other than that, no, not really.
Okay, and when I was reading stuff for this interview, you mentioned that one of the actually you mentioned it now that you had various different farm animals. One of those animals that you mentioned was a calf. Was it like
Yeah.
a special calf?
Okay, so yeah, so his mom, the cow, actually died giving birth to him. So his name was Lucky. Since he had survived her death or whatever. So we had to feed him and bottle him when he was just a baby. Unfortunately, he didn't live long without his mom. But yeah, we had Lucky. We had a goat. We actually had a cow, but that was like right when I was a little baby. We had a couple hogs. Uh, and yeah.
Okay, because one of the monikers that you use on social media is Zippy the Farmer.
Yeah.
And can I learn more about who Zippy the Farmer is, or in what circumstances do you become Zippy the Farmer?
Yeah. So actually, I had an internship at a plant nursery, and I just took on this farmer personality because I was showing everyone the different types of plants and what I was doing to water them and keep them healthy. And everyone knew my background of growing up in Alabama, so I became Zippy the farmer. Everyone already knows me kind of as like Zippy the hippie, so it's just one of my many names.
Yeah, that's the next question I wanted to ask you actually. So who is Zippy the Hippie? And then how did that come about? How did you become Zippy the Hippie?
Yeah, so everyone has pretty much known me throughout my life as a free-spirited person who doesn't really care what anyone thinks. I'll walk outside barefooted. I know my teammates here in Germany, they're like, Zippy, like, you can't do that. I'm like, my feet are built for it. I've done it my whole life. I'm not going to get sick. Like, I know it's not the same as me walking on grass, but I'm okay. But yeah, people have known me to just like meditate, do a lot of journaling, a lot of reading. But yeah, I would describe that person as someone who's free spirited, peaceful, and who really wants to share love.
Okay, and how does that person factor into the sort of commercialized world of professional basketball?
Yeah, I think sometimes with sports we can get so deep into the competitive nature, where we forget that sports started from just having fun. So I feel like my personality of just being free spirited aligns with, hey, like, yes, of course I want to compete, of course I want to win, but I want to have fun while doing it. And I know definitely since I've been at Hanover, have been having a tremendous amount of fun and I've been enjoying it.
Okay. And how much of a free reign have you got? Uh, or maybe your coach gives you how much of a free reign? Since you're the point guard,
Mhm.
how much of
Oh,
freedom do you have? Do you, because point guard, they're like point guards who enforce the rules, right? They're like the floor generals, and there are those who just look out for themselves, mostly look for like the shot first point guards. So uh how do you personally, like, I get really confused right now, but I hope that you understand the question. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, first I'll say that his playing style is for the point guards to be creative. So I know I'm not like I'm the point guard, but I'm not like the main point guard. That's India Farsi, but I'm like the two, but I come in as the one as well. But I'll say she's the more creative one, and I'm more of the create for myself, I can say, but I still create for others as well. But he Jesper is very big on figure it out. Like he is not, he gives us the structure of how to play, and it's up to us as the guards to be able to do what is needed in his system. But he's not going to tell us do this, do that, do that. We had the creative thought process to be able to do what we want, how we want, and I really enjoy his system. I'm not gonna lie, like I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay. And when did you know that basketball was your thing, your calling in life? Because you tried different sports too.
Yeah. Well, actually, soccer or football was my actually my first love, and I say over time, like I just was really good at basketball. I remember when I was a kid, I had this like one prayer, like I prayed one day I'm better than Michael Jordan. Like, so ever since I was a kid, I knew it was a dream to be a professional basketball player. And it's a blessing that I am here today. And this is just something that I've manifested and prayed about since I was a kid.
Yeah. And which award was more important for you, the Alabama Gatorade Player of the Year or Jimmy Hitchcock Memorial Award? You got both awards in 2018, right? And
Yeah.
like some short explanation, like Player of the Year, that's understandable, the best player in Alabama, right? And Jimmy Hitchcock Memorial Award was from your just engagement in, let's say, social activities and the person that you were, right?
You're doing one making me pick between those two.
I mean, you can pick both. Usually, people say, "Ah, both." You know, they're totally different.
That's a cliche answer. I'm not gonna pick both.
Okay, okay.
If I had to choose, I'll say Gatorade Player of the Year, just because I was able to use that award for social engagement. So I won the Alabama Gatorade Player of the Year award, and after that, I was able to enter into an essay contest. And so I won the essay contest for all the women's basketball players in the country. So after I won the Gatorade Player of the Year, I was able to donate $11,000 to whatever nonprofit organization I wanted to, which was I chose the Boys and Girls Club from in Alabama. So I'll pick Gatorade Player of the Year.
Yeah, so very LeBron James like action, right? Yeah. And what if may I ask you what the essay was about?
So honestly, I can't find it. I really want to
Okay.
find it. I just remember talking about so from my hometown, I was the third person in a row from my city to actually get that award. And I just talked about how important it was, like pretty much how they set it up for how important it was for us three being from the same hometown and how like uh, we don't come from the most privileged area. It is very, I say, economically not the best in certain parts, especially the high school that I went to. So I just touched a little bit on that, but I would love to know what I wrote about it. I don't remember.
And do you often write, like, not for yourself, but just to try to publish stuff like short stories, or
Yeah,
not really?
I love to write. I journal, and I want to publish one day my journal entries because I feel like it's not my journal entries are relatable to my life, but I feel like a lot of other people could relate to it as well. And I definitely want to see people that like it's other sides to like of course on social media, for example, like you just see this person's perfect life, but there's other stuff that people go through. You know, people know that are starting to learn more that athletes have mental health stuff that they go through. And I know me personally, like I've gone through my fair share of injuries, and it's definitely been hard. And I want people to know that like everything isn't buttercup and sunshine. Like it's hard stuff out there, but when you continue to, you know, keep your faith, when you continue to keep going and not give up, then you can do whatever you put your mind to. You just have to keep going. And I definitely want to share that with people.
Okay. Uh, I'm going to return to basketball just for a moment, okay? Because when I was going through your high school stats, the thing that stands out, and it's just a testament to your abilities as a player that you can just look at, I know, 20 points, I know, 6 or 7 assists per game. You're like, okay, but 5 steals per game?
Yeah,
That's a crazy average. How do you get so good at stealing the ball?
I'm gonna be real. Okay, so my real name is Zipporah, and I'm Zippy because obviously it relates to Zipporah. But I got Zippy not from my name, but from me being fast. And I'm gonna just say that I'm gonna just credit it to my speed. I know it's like a lot of defensive players out there that like this high IQ where they know when to do this with that person. I just go off of intuition. I just use my speed. I just use what I was blessed with. I can't give myself a lot of credit for that.
Okay. And do you do any like exercises when it comes to the eye-hand coordination or not really?
Yeah, so actually I learned like in college, for example, like I learned how to juggle. Like I found out
Okay.
that actually a lot. So I'll juggle with tennis balls. Um and yeah, I'll probably say that's the most specific thing that I do. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And when you were recruited by, well, the choice narrowed down to 3 schools.
Yes.
So we had Florida, Kentucky,
Yes.
and Rutgers.
Yes.
And you picked Rutgers. Why? I mean, you're a farm girl, right? We've established that already. And you
Yeah.
moved to Jersey.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, what people don't know is Rutgers actually, the area that it was in actually had a pretty big farm area. Um, and I'm sad I did not get to experience it. I actually got an internship to actually like legitimately farm. Um, my last year there, but I ended up transferring and I couldn't do the internship. I was so sad about that. But Rutgers was actually in a pretty quiet area, but I chose Rutgers because of none other than Coach Vivian Stringer. She was a phenomenal head coach. I knew the type of player that I wanted to be, and I know she could give me that kind of chip on my shoulder and make me more into an aggressive player. And yeah, I went there pretty much for her.
okay. And unfortunately, after 3 years, you leave,
Yep.
right? You didn't get many starts, as I think it was like 12 starts in 61 games. Why do you
Mhm.
think that was? Was it because of, I always struggled. How do you pronounce her name? Arella?
Oh,
Arella?
yeah.
Arella, yeah. Was it because of her? Or what was was there an issue actually, or there wasn't any issue? You just weren't happy with the system. It didn't work for you.
Yeah, so I can definitely say it wasn't because of Arella. Me and Arella actually were two completely different positions, and I'll say right now, like that is my sister death. But I am the type of person where I love to take accountability. The reason I didn't start that much was because of myself. And if I had to look back in my first years of college, I did not have the work ethic. I blamed my circumstances on other people, and it was tough being away from home. I can honestly say, but because of my lack of putting in hard work and being able to, you know, say, hey, Zip, this is what you need to do. That is a big reason why I wasn't as successful at Rutgers, but that ended up changing when I got to Florida. Florida, my first year, I wasn't starting. I wasn't playing that much. my first part of the season, and I'm at the age now where I learned how to take accountability, and I went into my head coach's office, and instead of pointing my finger at her, I'm like, what do I need to do to get better? Had a conversation with her. My workouts end up changing. My whole schedule ended up changing of how what I needed to do to become a better player. And I went from barely playing to, hey, now I'm starting every game and I'm one of the top scorers in the SEC. So if anyone hears this interview, I just want to say that you have to take accountability and it comes down to you at the end of the day. Like you cannot put your future into anyone else's hands. And that's where I would say my biggest mistake was at Rutgers.
Yeah, I love that you're saying that, because I mean I used to be the same way. So I also had to learn that. Yeah. And when you were a player for the Gators, when did you think, well, I should have picked this initially? Like, why didn't I pick this particular school? Were there
Yeah.
thoughts like that you had, like regrets that you picked Rutgers over Florida?
Yeah. So I'll say that because of my faith, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I'd say that I wouldn't be the person I am today without going to Rutgers. And I wouldn't have met the amazing sisters that I have today without have going to Rutgers. And I had a head coach change actually when I got to Florida, and the head coach that I ended up having, I say now she is my best friend. I love her, Kelly Ray Finley. I'd probably say she is one of the most phenomenal, loving, caring coaches out there in the country. And I wouldn't have had that opportunity if I had went there earlier. And so everything happened in his God's timing. So no regrets.
Okay. And you graduated with a degree in food and resource economics. Do you plan on using that degree in the future?
Hey, I'm gonna say as simply as this. I want to hoop. Basketball, basketball is
Okay,
my
but
love.
I mean, I'm saying once you're done with basketball.
You
I
know
know
what?
it's still a long time. You're just beginning your
Yeah,
journey. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I want to stay around the game. I love the game so much. If anything were to happen, like me and my brothers, we talked a few times about having our own like little family farming business. I know like we always spin out different ideas. Like sometimes we're like, okay, let's get goats where we can rent out to people. Let's grow this type of crop. Let's do this. The ideas are scattered, but I know at the end of the day, like I want to hoop. I want to be around basketball. That's something that I love.
Okay. And just when I was going through the Rutgers website,
Mm-hmm.
you've mentioned that one of the quotes that most resonates with you is
Mm-hmm.
plant, cultivate, and harvest.
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me?
Oh,
How do you apply that to everyday life?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
Oh,
it's
wow.
pretty self-explanatory, but I would love for you to hear like your explanation because it's your quote, right? So
Yeah. So, honestly, I don't even remember. That was all the way from like my freshman year. That was like 6 years ago. But I say that like in everyday life we have seeds that we plant. And it is your choice what seeds choose to plant. You can either plant seeds of discipline and consistency, or you can plant seeds of procrastination and bad habits. So each day you wake up and you get 1% better by planting the certain seeds that you know you can get better. And to cultivate it, you have to water it, you have to give it the sunshine, you have to give attention to these things for those seeds to be able to grow. And it's going to be hard. Like no one said it's easy. Like we have bad days. We have days where it's like, you know what, I don't want to do this. But in the long run, you have to look, hey, what type of person do I want to be? Do I want to be someone that lives in regret? Hey, I didn't want to do this, so now I'm not where I want to be. Or do you want to just be like, hey, it was hard, and I'd rather be in regret of how hard it was and get to where I want to be. So just planting those seeds, cultivating it, and then you get the harvest you want, and it'll be a bountiful harvest. We always reap what we sow. That's something that is explained very well in the Bible. So yeah, we'll reap what we sow always.
Yeah, nice. And it's a very nice quote. I mean, it's a nice motto to have, right? As well. And what's your favorite quote from the scripture? Do you have like a favorite quote that you try to live by?
I don't. I
Okay.
that my favorite chapter is Proverbs.
Okay.
My dad is much older, so he is very big on giving all his kids wisdom. And Proverbs is the book of wisdom. So I definitely like this morning. I think I read Proverbs 18 when I woke up this morning. So yeah, I should probably just say that whole chapter.
Is okay. Is it like a regular day for you that you wake up and you immediately like read or try to make a certain day about something or build a certain day around a certain idea?
Yeah. So usually I could probably say that like I'm not the type of person to lie or put up a front. Like I'm not as consistent as I have been in the past, and I'm trying to work to get there. So I'll probably say that consistency is something that a habit that I want to get better at since I've been here in Germany. But usually my typical day when I am super consistent is I wake up, I journal, I meditate, and I read some chapter in the Bible, and I try to base my day off of that and have that at the forefront of my mind.
Okay. And do you write down your dreams too?
Yes, I typically do. Yes,
Okay. Okay.
if
Okay.
they're,
Okay.
if they're meaningful enough.
Okay. And did you have like a dream that ever influenced your decision or maybe guided you through something tough, like the injuries that you had in the past, or inspired you to do something?
So it's actually crazy. Before I tore my shoulder, and before my shoulder tear, like a few days before, I had a dream that I woke up crying from, and it was like my mom is alive, but in the dream, like it was her spirit, and she was basically in the dream telling me that like something big is about to happen, but you're going to be okay. And 2 days later, I tore my shoulder and ended up having to have surgery. And was out for months, and I didn't know what it meant then, but I know I woke up crying. And then after I tore my shoulder, I'm like, I needed to hear that. And the dream came into fruition. I was okay. I'm better than ever now. Like I don't think about my shoulder at all when I play. It was tough at first, but yeah, like it's when you have crazy things happen, and I'm just so blessed.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to ask you, or maybe ask of you, because in a number of like interviews or just like things written down about you, is that you're an avid reader.
Yeah.
So I know it's like one of the worst questions you might ask somebody, like, what's your favorite book? But maybe you have like a 5 or 10 favorite books.
So I'll give you a favorite book.
Okay.
I've read this book more than once. And The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Oh
Okay.
my God. Like when you really put it into practice in that book, it's transformed my life every time. And when I say when I'm not consistent, it's because I'm not doing what he says in the book. And he just says a big thing in life is to wake up early, and you can be more disciplined, consistent when you wake up early. So yeah, I'll probably say that is my top favorite book.
Okay. And do you have like other books that you like that maybe also guided you for like hard times?
Yes, The Game of Life and How to Play It. That's a really good book. It's actually very old. Like, I mean, they've like renewed it or whatever, but I think
Mhm.
she wrote that book in like the 1920s, 30s. But like her practices and stuff in the book is very well it can be applied today. And she uses a lot of like scripture in her book to pretty much like give a foundation of pretty much of what you think comes into fruition and just pretty much controlling your thoughts. So that is another. I actually brought that book with me here to Germany. I'm like, I can't leave without that one. I wish I hadn't left without the 5 a.m. club, but I my bag ended up being too heavy, so I had to leave that one behind. But I could not leave that book.
You can probably get a copy
Oh yeah,
easily in Germany as well.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Zippy, for the conversation. I really enjoyed it, and hope you do well in Germany because it's your first pro season, right?
Yes, correct.
And well, I hope that we will get a chance to talk again.
Yeah, I appreciate you, and I really enjoyed your questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.